Gratitude changes everything. In a small countryside village surrounded by tall trees and dusty roads lived a humble cart driver named Rahim. Every morning before sunrise, Rahim would wake up, wash his face with cold water from the well, and whisper a short prayer of thanks for another day. He owned very little: an old wooden cart, a tired horse named Badal, and a small mud house at the edge of the village. Yet, Rahim always carried a gentle smile on his face. Many villagers wondered how Rahim stayed so calm and content despite his difficult life. His clothes were worn, his cart creaked loudly, and his income barely covered daily needs. But Rahim had something rare: a heart full of gratitude. Rahim lived with his two young sons, Ayan and Sammy, whose mother had passed away years ago. Life had not been easy after her death. Rahim had to play the role of both father and mother. Some nights, they slept with empty stomachs, and on many days, Rahim returned home exhausted. Still, before sleeping, he would tell his children, "Be thankful, my sons. We may not have much, but we have each other." A journey begins. One morning, Rahim received a request to carry two travelers to the nearby city. The journey would take almost a full day through forests and uneven paths. Though tired, Rahim accepted the work gratefully. It meant food for his children. The travelers were well dressed and seemed important. As they climbed into the cart, one of them complained loudly, "This cart looks old. I hope it doesn't break on the way." Rahim only smiled and replied politely, "It has carried many safely. With Allah's help, it will carry us too." As the journey began, the road grew rough. Dust filled the air, and the sun burned fiercely. The travelers kept complaining about the heat, the slow speed, and the uncomfortable ride. Rahim listened quietly. Whenever Badal slowed down, Rahim gently patted his neck and said, "Thank you, my friend. You're doing your best." The travelers were surprised. "Why do you thank a horse?" one asked mockingly. Rahim replied calmly, "Because he carries my burden without complaint. Gratitude gives strength." They laughed at his words and continued talking among themselves. The storm. By afternoon, dark clouds gathered in the sky. Soon, a heavy storm began. Rain poured fiercely, and the road turned muddy. Suddenly, the cart's wheel got stuck deep in the mud. The travelers panicked. "This is all your fault," one shouted. "We'll be late." "What kind of cart is this?" Rahim stepped down calmly, soaked in rain. He looked at the sky and said softly, "Thank you for the rain. The land needs it." The travelers stared at him in disbelief. "Are you crazy? This rain has trapped us," they shouted. Rahim didn't argue. He quietly worked, pushing the wheel, comforting Badal, and trying again and again. After many attempts, with patience and effort, the wheel finally came free. The travelers were silent now. Something about Rahim's calmness made them uneasy. Despite the storm, despite their harsh words, Rahim showed no anger, only gratitude. A lesson unfolds. As evening approached, they reached a small shelter near the forest. Rahim offered the travelers some dry bread he carried. One traveler hesitated. "This is all you have?" Rahim nodded. "Yes, and I'm thankful for it." The traveler felt ashamed. He realized that despite having wealth and comfort, he complained endlessly, while this poor cart driver found peace in little things. That night, as the rain slowed, one traveler asked quietly, "Rahim, how did you learn to live like this?" Rahim looked into the distance and said, "Life taught me. When my wife died, I was angry at everything. I complained about my fate. But my anger only brought more pain. One day, my son thanked me for a simple meal. That moment changed me. I realized gratitude doesn't change life, but it changes us, and that changes everything." Change of hearts. The next morning, the sky was clear. The travelers reached the city safely. Before leaving, one of them handed Rahim a generous amount of money. "This is more than we agreed," Rahim said, surprised. The man smiled. "This is not payment, it's gratitude, for teaching us something priceless." Rahim accepted it with humility. He thanked them and returned home. When he reached his village, his sons ran toward him. Rahim hugged them tightly. That night, with the extra money, Rahim bought warm clothes, good food, and books for his children. But he reminded them, "Remember, wealth comes and goes. Gratitude stays." The ripple effect. Over time, Rahim's attitude began to influence the village. People noticed how peaceful he was. When crops failed, he thanked God for what survived. When business was slow, he thanked customers who came. Slowly, others started copying him. The village changed, not because it became richer, but because it became kinder. Ayan and Sammy grew up learning that gratitude was strength, not weakness. They studied hard and later helped improve life in the village. Yet, they never forgot their father's lesson. Years later, Rahim grew old. His hair turned white, his hands shaky. One evening, sitting outside his home, he said softly, "I had nothing, yet I had everything." He closed his eyes with peace in his heart.